Well, he attack me. But Jaden Chase, they have to make the fans them know what really are going on.
Up move nation, and you know the settings. You man a Jaden Chase and I wanna go bring on another reason for the topic of current affairs. So if you're new to the channel, just a pass through. But you don't like the reason and of course you don't like the point of view, well I'm suggesting to you that you click the subscribe icon and then put a like on the video. Now let's get right into the reasoning nation. Members of the government have warned that the most effective way to destroy all respect for the law is to make it obvious that the law will only be applied to the poor and powerless. If the elite in this country are filmed boasting about their immunity from the law, the people see that our society is both deeply unequal and fundamentally unfair. We cannot then expect them to behave as decent citizens because they can see their leaders mocking them. Now, members also further highlighted that months after the young Rastafarian woman Nzinga King had her hair cut off at the Four Parts police station in Clarendon, not only had there not been a full report outlining the charges that are to be faced by the officers involved, but the public defender has been prevented from visiting the station in order to advance her office's investigation of the matter, and they have already moved the officers in question. And speaking of the JCF, that officer that threatened Nzinga King's life, and think about it, after the situation took place with the police, and after the situation being heavily publicized in the media, all forms of it, whether that be the written media or social media, while taking part in the march that happened downtown, an officer recognizing Nzinga King threatened her with bodily harm. And this also speaks to the nature of the JCF. One opposition spokesman pointed out that when the JCF was originally formed in 1867, it was formed in response to multiple rebellions taking place. And they, the JCF, were created to protect the interests and assets of the land owners and rich elite of the country. And he stated that while the organization boasts to be very different right now, their efforts to become a fully modern police service has been undermined because many citizens are convinced that a century and a half later, the JCF still operates predominantly to serve the interests of the elites, which includes political elites and owners of big business. And nation, the JDF has rejected claims that they received new military equipment, meaning the equipment was for the police officers. And their official statement is that the JDF has not made a purchase of vehicles shown in the circulating video. The army spokesperson said in a statement that the army is not aware of any major shipments being brought in for them or where the posts originated. Now these can indeed be SWAT vehicles aimed to expand the SWAT team, but they can also be outfitted with riot gear. Nation, members of the government won't like the fact that politicians and members of the security forces, politicians who pass and write legislation into law, and the police who enforce them, have created a double standard in the rule of law. Most recently, the Auditor General reported on the dealings between the former Minister of Education, Youth and Information and Nutrition Products Limited, NPL. The Auditor General reported that the public body improperly paid 143 million to connected parties to eat food. And as stated by the government, this too sends a powerful message to people that politicians put their friends on public boards that become completely corrupt and use this to channel public funds into their own companies and pockets, whether it be through the fact that they're shareholders, they have investment in these companies, or they outright rightly own them. And the statement is simple. How can you then ask people to respect the law when they can see individuals go to jail for stealing a few dollars, but then have it nationally publicized that official representatives of the government are members of parliament, ministers of certain portfolio, stole tens of millions of taxpayer dollars and escaped all penalties? These things are an insult to the citizens. It is an insult to their intelligence. It is an insult to the justice system and an insult to the rule of law applied in the country. The fact that officers act with impunity. The fact that Nzinga can have her case be stalled by multiple investigative agencies. The fact that an officer can see her downtown, voice her concern for what take place on the island, and the fact that her case has been stalled, and tell her, say, yo, him use him service firearm on her just because she's Nzinga King and her case is going to be before the courts. The fact that they can have the case moved around. Recently, Indicom said that they wanted to separate the officers from the Indicom case. The public defender is saying, within doing that, the case has been moved, and now she has been barred, prevented from visiting the station in order to further her office's investigation. Remember, multiple agencies are investigating this, so make sure they're not gonna fall through the cracks, because we know the thing go. We know it go when Indicom said I'm gonna look into something and not fabricate. We have fabricate this. Numerous other cases are there, documented cases we can use as an example. For one, a stall tactic also being put in play right now. Them use it on numerous occasions. Once the case reaches the court though, victims are always awarded a victory because the proof is there. Nzinga King is no longer with her dreadlocks. Where the dreadlocks go? Or it come off her head while in lockup? How was she behind the bars with a sharp instrument? Think about it. After being searched on multiple occasions, remember she got caught. Judge go on with what them go on with, and she was brought back to lockup. Multiple searches. She never have no sharp instrument on her. Somebody had to go in there and do it. How come all of a sudden the police don't want to work with probable cause? Or something with them love? And that is why I have always said that the crime and violence issue where take place in Jamaica is one that is diverse. I can't 100% agree with the JDF and say it is all because of gang involvement. Because various reasons for the criminal activity that take place. And there is also the governing thought that, for one, the laws that are here are for only one class of people and not for the other class. And with the advent of social media and its prominent use, now you can see these situations play out on a daily basis. So the way officers treat some people to the way they treat others. And the people them fed up. The marcher show them that. The fact that the tactics being used by Indicom and even the police force, and the fact that these tactics have been used to delay or pervert the course of justice. Is that something where the unfair treatment faced by the citizens when we are dealing with justice, even when we are dealing with crime and violence, and when we are dealing with the laws that help to govern the society? Talk to me in the comment section. That's the one called Jaden Chase, the dancer correspondent, the Gaza representative, and reminding you know, if you're new to the channel, new to the movement, just a pass through, but you like the reason and of course you like the point of view, well, I'm suggesting to you that you click the subscribe icon and then the bell icon and put it on all. And this is how you know you'll be notified of all fresh content as soon as fresh content is uploaded and made available for you right here upon the platform. The like icon is also in close proximity to the share icon. Drop a like and bust a share. Tell a friend, tell them sister and them brother them to check out the channel, check out the reason, join the discussion. The comment section open 24/7, it never lack yet just be respectful and mindful of the guidelines. But other than that, drop your thoughts, your comments, and yes, your opinions there, and we can continue the reasoning via the comment section. You know the sentiments, and for those who don't, yeah man, I move settings fam. And my sentiments for you and yours are gonna live, love, and prosper. Stay tuned to the reason again.